What's happening, Frugal Fam? Mike here, and this is actually my first YouTube video ever, so please be patient as I not only try to entertain you, but also share with you my journey and how I was able to save 98% of my income. And stick around because later in the video, I'm going to be giving you guys some tips on how you can save as well. Alright, so everyone would probably agree and say the three biggest expenses everyone will face at some point throughout their life are going to be housing, transportation, and food. And in an effort to be a little bit different, I decided to only focus on the expenses that are directly impacting my life right now. And because I do not own a house, I do not own a car, and I do not eat, just kidding, I eat. I'm still going to be talking about housing, but I'm going to be replacing transportation and food with two different expenses that I'll discuss a little bit later. Alright, so my first expense is going to be housing, and I'll just get straight to the point on this. I know the whole reason that you clicked on this video is to find out how I'm able to save so much of my income, and so I'll just get straight to the point. The answer is very simple. I house hack with my parents. You heard that correctly. I live with my parents as a 30-year-old grown adult. And chances are, because you clicked on this video, you probably already have a good idea of what house hacking is. But if you don't, here's a quick reminder. Essentially, you are charging strangers extra money each month in exchange to offset your portion of rent every month. And I'm here to tell you that this is the old way of thinking. Why would anyone want to live with strangers when they can just live with their parents instead? We need to normalize house hacking with your parents, aka living with your parents at the age of 30 years old. Alright, so the house hacking was a joke, but it does represent my current situation right now, and it is the main reason why I am able to save a majority of my income. Now, I realize that living with your parents is not the ideal situation for everyone, but if you ever lived in a major city like I have, I used to live in Boston a few years ago, and the rent in Boston is outrageous. I was paying about $12.50 a month, and I was forced to live in this very small apartment with strangers that I met on Craigslist. So actually living with parents is kind of refreshing in a way. Alright, the second way I'm able to save a majority of my income is by not paying for a gym membership. If there's one thing that's worth splurging on, is definitely going to be your long-term health. After all, joining a gym is a great way to decompress after work, and it could be a really nice social outlet to get you out of the house more often. My only issue with gym memberships is they're usually pretty expensive, and they're going to charge you every single month, regardless if you actually went to the gym that month or not. So my alternative to a gym membership is this fancy thing called a kettlebell, which essentially is this cannonball looking thing that has a handle. I believe the kettlebell was invented in Russia, and I know it's used a lot in martial arts today. Essentially, it's used for functional fitness. I know a lot of CrossFitters use it. It's really great on your flexibility, strength, and also your aerobic activity. It's really a 3-in-1 piece of equipment and can range between $10 and $130 depending on what size you get. So if you see me over here, you already know I'm getting the $20 set right there. So let's keep it simple. Let's just assume that the kettlebell is the same cost as a 1-month gym membership. And as long as you're able to stay consistent and you don't get lazy and you actually kept using the kettlebell in your weekly exercise, the kettlebell will pretty much pay for itself after the first month. And then every month after that, it's almost like you're working out for free. Alright, and the third way I'm able to save a majority of my income is on haircut costs. So for guys, we really can't complain because most guy haircuts cost between $20 and $30 a month, depending on what you're tipping your barber. But when you think long term, if you're getting a haircut once a month for an entire year, that's really going to add up. That could be about $400 per year. And when you think about it, $400, that could be an extra car payment on your auto loan, or that could be a way to pay for 2 to 3 months worth of utility costs for your apartment. Instead of going to the barber each month, you can just invest in a $40 decent pair of hair clippers and give yourself a haircut similar to mine. Now, I'm not saying you have to give yourself a 0 all around, keep it super short like mine is, but maybe if you have a friend that can give you a haircut, or maybe if you're feeling very risky and creative, you could use the mirror and try to give yourself your own haircut. But in my opinion, really the easiest way to do it is give yourself a 0 each month. Keeps it very simple, and it saves you an extra $20 to $30 each month. And as long as you use the clippers at least twice, then you pretty much got your money's worth. And then every month after that, you have a nice, decent pair of hair clippers that you can use to give yourself future haircuts for the rest of your life.
Oh yeah.
Alright, I know if you're a girl and you hear me talk about giving yourself a free haircut, that probably doesn't sound very exciting to you.
No.
But really the point of this video is to make you think a little bit differently and to find new ways where you can save in your budget. Now, I'm not saying you need to shave your head completely like mine, but what I am saying is when it comes time next month to get your new hair extensions in that cost about $400 to $500, maybe pause and take a minute and ask yourself, do I really need these hair extensions, or should I be financially responsible and pay off my credit card bills first? Alright, I know I said in the beginning of the video that I wasn't going to be talking about my food expenses, but after thinking about it, I think this is something that's worth discussing. Everyone spends money on food each month, whether you're going to the grocery store, you're getting a $9 Chipotle burrito, or you're making the exquisite Ramon noodles in your home kitchen. The money you need for food is gonna come from somewhere. One thing I'm really grateful for is I picked up a second shift locally in town here, and I actually work at a local restaurant where their policy is they allow us to have one free meal during our shift. So that's really nice for me because when I go there on the weekends, I'm able to eat some really good food for free.
Yum 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 yum.
Alright, just to recap in case I lost anyone, I am house hacking with my parents, aka living at home for free. I eat whatever I want in the fridge, and then on the weekends, I get free meals at this really nice restaurant out in town. It's not a bad gig. Now I know house hacking with your parents really is not for everyone, so here's 2 quick tips to help you guys save money on your food costs. Alright, and the first tip is go to your phone and download Food for All. Essentially, it's an app where restaurants are trying to lower the amount of food waste they have. So instead of throwing their food away at the end of every night, what they do is they actually list it on this app, and they list it for usually 50% or more off. So not only does it prevent food waste, but it also gives back to the community of people who really need affordable, healthy food. I did it in college and it works really well in big cities. Alright, and the second option is to become a secret shopper. Now this isn't something that I've done personally, but I've heard it's a way that you can go to different types of restaurants and essentially eat for free. So basically how it works is you get hired by a company to come in and critique a different restaurant service. And you have to pay for the cost up front. However, after you've sent in your critique, they usually will reimburse you within 30 days after you've sent your critique into the company. So you're pretty much getting a restaurant meal for free. Alright, if you've made it this far in the video, I just want to thank you, and I really hope that this video inspires you to continue to find new ways to save money. This is usually the point in the video where I say, go down below, leave a comment, smash the like button. That is all nonsense. Let's start up a new YouTube trend. Go down below the video and feed the YouTube algorithm. That's right, feed the YouTube algorithm. Alright, thank you guys. I'll see you next time, Frugal Fam. Now, I'm not saying you need to get a haircut like mine. What's happening to you? Your apartment. see you next time, Fugle fam.